Hello. I thought it was time for another Stoic video. 2 days ago, I uploaded a video that was a bit different from what I usually do, because I uploaded a watch review, and this was met with, I think, three kinds of reactions. And please give me time. Give me time to just explain this, okay? One type of reaction was, you shouldn't do that because you do pen reviews. Do pen reviews. Another type of reaction was, well, this was kind of cool. And the third type of reaction was, you probably did not know this, but this company may be a little different from what you thought it was. If you want information, you go to the review and then you check out those comments. Now, what I wanted to talk about today was not read you a bit of Marcus Aurelius, but talk a bit about applied Stoicism, because in my mind, this is to be a pragmatic series of videos on how you can apply Stoicism in your everyday life. So this was a good opportunity for me, and I want to talk about why that was. So if you forgive me, I'll just go into that. Up to a couple years ago, a situation like this, well, people would have said, yeah, actually, etc., I would have become very upset, angry, and I would have felt a need to lash out. It's true, this is what I was like. Now, this is not now to toot my own horn, but I want to guide you through the process of why I did not get angry and did not feel like lashing out when I started to, these comments started to roll in. Now, most of these comments were very respectful and were very constructive, which makes a huge difference. But having said that, there were some people who were clearly upset. This makes sense too. Now, why does any of this matter? Because of the way you can approach a situation like this. People make mistakes. I think in this case, I made a mistake. We think of the Latin adage, errare humanum est. To err is to be human. But added to that is the equally important errare humanum est, sed perseverare diabolicum. To err is to be human, but to persevere is to be diabolical. Now, I think what often happens in situations where people feel attacked is not exactly the right word in this context, because I didn't really feel attacked, because again, most people who left comments were very respectful and constructive. But extrapolating a little bit from that, a lot of times when people receive comments, criticism, feedback, they feel attacked. They have a natural tendency to then try to defend themselves. No, but this, that, and the other. Yeah, well, that's easy for you to say, etc. And I've done this too in the past. But what has made a large difference to me is the way you approach a situation like this. So I come back to Epictetus. Now, I've quoted this a couple times before, but this to me is one of the great diffusers that when you receive criticism or feedback that can make things easier on yourself. You ask yourself, is the person, I'm just going to say again, criticizing me, correct? If they are correct in what they're saying about me, I shouldn't be upset, because they're correct. If that person is not correct, I can't be upset, because that person is not correct. That thought has made a huge difference in my life, because I used to be a person who was easily offended. I think I'm less easily offended now. Still not always easy, but my response would be to lash out. I don't mean physically, but I mean to verbally lash out, to then to basically start to try and defend myself, or to point out that people were wrong, etc. But what I try to do now is take this statement into consideration and think about, are they correct? Well, in this case, the people who are leaving comments, again, mainly constructive comments, were much more informed of this particular world, the product I was reviewing, than I am. Well, in such a case, they know better what they're talking about than I do. And I didn't expect this kind of issue. When I received this product, I looked into the brand. I probably didn't look in the right places, but I don't really know where to look because this is not my expertise. I did get practical suggestions from a good friend, which were very helpful. But I didn't go beyond that, and probably should have, but I didn't know. I didn't know where to look. So I thought that I had all the pragmatics aligned. I knew what I had to talk about. But I didn't even realize that was what the issue here. Again, go to the video, read some of the comments, you'll see what I mean. I didn't even know that was an issue. That was a thing that happened. I don't know, because I'm not well versed enough in that world, apparently. So then, if you choose to persevere and you try to engage in a discussion along the lines of, no, but I'm right and this is not, etc., then you are persevering. And I agree that then that is diabolical. What I did, and I'm not saying that that's a brilliant solution, but that's what I did, is I commented on my own video, which I typically do. Well, I don't think I've ever done that. And I pinned that comment. And I don't have the comment at the top of my head verbatim, but it was something along the lines of, I appreciate everyone's feedback, constructive or less constructive. I take the feedback or the concerns, I don't remember what I said, seriously. I've learned from this. And I have zero desire to do further watch reviews. Again, this is, I'm quoting myself loosely verbatim here, okay? You can see the comment if you go to the video. Because other people were right. And I was wrong. And in my mind, there's nothing wrong with indicating that you were wrong. Because then you are not persevering, but then you are erring, and sometimes you err. It's the way it is. We make mistakes. And if you can accept that, and if you can accept that other people may know better than you, and when they provide you with this kind of feedback, that can be very helpful because it allows you to grow. Now I have learned something I didn't even know existed, and I understand now the intricacies of that the watch world a little better. Will I do other watch reviews? Probably not. I have zero interest at this point. But I'm just saying, like, I have zero interest. This was one excursion, didn't work out. I don't feel the need to pursue this any further at this point. Which has nothing to do with anything that anyone said. It's just that, okay, that's too much. I'll stick to pens then. It's a choice. Right. And that approach, I like to think, of learning from something like this, taking that, and thinking, okay, they were right, I was wrong. I've indicated that this was a mistake on my part. At least I think I did something along those lines. And now we move on. If you can do that without holding on to the anger or resentment or bitterness is a bit much in this context, but if you can do that, I think that the problem tends to dissipate because people see that you have listened, you have heard them. Listening to people and hearing them is not the same thing. We see that a lot in our society these days. I think that can make a big difference to those people too, because they see that you are hearing what they are saying. And then people are much more likely to then say, oh yeah, okay, understood. Thanks for taking this seriously, for example. And that can be very helpful. Now, the final thing I wanted to say was another thing this made me realize, and I'm very grateful for that, and I'm very sincere here, is that I have an audience that cares about what I do, but that genuinely cares. If I would have an audience that did not care, the audience members would not care if I stumbled. But in this case, I stumbled, and they were there to catch me. And that experience is very heartwarming. It is. It's also very humbling to have people who care about you and about your work and about what you are doing to that degree. And for that, I am truly grateful. So I just wanted to extend my thanks to everyone who's left comments on that, who has educated me, because it's important, and I do take it seriously. And that's kind of all I had to say. I hope that was useful. It made sense. It put things in some perspective. But now it's time. I gotta go. Just joking. I'll see you next week for more talk about Stoicism, and then we will get into more Marcus Aurelius. And for the record, I meant everything I said here. Right? This is not some sort of, because I feel that these days you also have to say that this is not some sort of show, or like now I'm trying to be likable. This is me. This is genuinely how I feel. So now you know. I hope this was useful. I'll gladly see you next week. Bye.